Nighttime fuel and fire. Drag racing's most potent combination. Nitro drag racing truly catches fire after dark. The energy, the excitement, and the danger of this exhilarating sport reach their peak under the lights. Darkness at the edge of town at the drag strip. Here, cloaked in blackness, bathed in light, the Nitro Warriors wage their furious quarter-mile combat. Nitro power that impresses in the daylight overwhelms in the night. Scorching header flames burn brighter. The ear-popping blasts in the pipes hit harder. Its ground-pounding roar louder when isolated by the night. Tire smoke. Even the blazing lights at the starting line are momentarily eclipsed by these billowing rooster tails. After dark, the already stout challenges faced by the racers take on new twists. The cooler air makes more power inside the churning engines. The traction of the starting line changes. The margin of error narrows. No one feels these changes more than the drivers. Strapped to their 3,000 horsepower machines, they can only peer into the darkness that masks the finish line. They can't see what lies ahead. They can only anticipate, prepare, and react. They ready their cars and themselves for the quarter-mile run. They ignore the crushing pressure. Ahead lie triumph or tragedy, but either will come in the darkness. Sound loud enough to knock you down. The roar of nitro-powered engines reaches out into the stands to grab and hold the attention of every fan. Burnout's complete. Drivers bring their sleek cars to the starting line. Enclosed in helmet and cockpit, they peer ahead at their destination. Darkness isn't the only enemy that lies waiting for the drivers. Though the darkness can be unnerving, more dangerous by far can be the light. The blinding flash of light from fire. The blast from a nitro-powered explosion lasts only a second, but its effects often remain much longer. Usually, the driver escapes injury. Protected by a multi-layered fire suit and onboard fire extinguishers, he rides out the fireball from its center. Thousands of hard-earned dollars have literally gone up in smoke. Beautifully painted shells are reduced to useless fiberglass. What is beyond repair is trucked away. Equipment that can be salvaged is loaded up and driven home. There, away from the onlookers, the driver and his crew and family will reassemble their dreams and return again to the quarter mile. The driver often seems like the calmest person here. He's been through it. He'll probably face it again. He's a funny car driver. Few machines can match the power of the Nitro Funny car. Enclosed by fiberglass, the ultra-sophisticated engines on these machines can hurdle car and driver to nearly 100 miles per hour in a single second. This raw power is what defines the race. It sets winner apart from loser. The power is unbelievable, but it must be controlled. For when it charges ahead without restraint, the driver can only rely on his skills, experience, and maybe most of all, his bravery to regain control. Sometimes it's not enough. The drag strip. Sometimes it seems like the most crowded place in the world. Sometimes it is. Drivers quickly learn that they have to worry about more than just themselves and their car. There's the other guy, too. Sometimes he loses control and careens across the center line. Sometimes his car becomes a rolling fireball. When that happens, the best place to be is the far end of the track. Funny cars come to life on the starting line. They paw at the ground. They bellow at the sky. They tremble, vibrate, and strain to take flight. What's it like to ride in a raging inferno?
Well, about 600 feet, it felt like she kicked a rod or something. Set the header's on fire, and we had an oil fire. We hit the fire system, and at this point, I'm not sure whether it worked or not, but it burned the right rear tire off. And as soon as it burned that, I was out of control. I was on fire inside the car. Trying to get her stopped. I know my fuse turned off, so it's just a matter of trying to get her stopped and keep her on the track.
Has this ever happened to you before?
I've had a fire before, but nothing this bad.
What goes through your mind when something like that happens?
Well, you can't panic. And you know you're on fire, you got things to do. You leave it in God's hands to take care of you at that point.
independent drag race, the Fuel and Gas Championships. To Sunday's eliminations. When the sun goes down, the cars come out. The night air is split by the howl of nitro-powered machines. The sky is streaked by tire smoke. The crowds feel the special thrill that only drag racing can bring. One after another, the drivers bring their cars to the line. They pair up and blast down the asphalt strip. The men and women in the cockpits are tested here like nowhere else in their lives. The cars, too, are challenged. Sometimes they just aren't up to it. Night shift at the drag strip. Nobody races alone. Back in the pits, the crew labors through the night, stripping, replacing, and rebuilding engines, transmissions, and drivetrains. Whatever needs to be done to win, they do it, over and over again. Tonight, Top Fuel racer and crew burn the midnight oil. They want the best speed and elapsed time possible from their car. They want to be in the winner's circle when the sun goes down Sunday. For that, they have to work. And that means everybody, even the guy who pays the bills. Engines are rebuilt after each run. Pistons are pulled. The clutch is checked. Everything that can break is inspected for wear and tear. Options are weighed. Calculations are studied. Decisions are made. Each second here in the pits can be as important as those spent hurtling between the starting line and the finish line. Once the maintenance is completed, the car is fueled, the starter is attached, and the engine roars to life. For the fans, the pits permit an unmatched opportunity to see their favorite drivers and crews at work. The sound of the surging engine, the sting of nitro in the air, the vibrations from the rumbling vehicle. These are sensations as hard to forget as they are to ignore. At the starting line, there's no time for joking. The eyes narrow. The mind focuses. Concentration on how to win pushes out all other thoughts. Work by the crew is finished. The decisions have been made. The changes taken care of. Now is the time of the driver. Even after years of racing and thousands of runs, the feeling of anticipation never goes away, even for the legends of the sport. Top fuel dragsters, the fastest accelerating machines on the planet. Nothing gets you there quicker than these cars. Louder than even the funny cars, dragsters' exposed engines crackle and vibrate with unequaled power. Fire shoots skyward from each of the header pipes. The flames dance atop the engine like a blinding strobe. Fuel dragsters are the kings of the sport. The funny cars howl and bark like savage dogs. The dragsters like a panther ready to pounce. beauty of their long bodies powering through the night takes one's breath away. These cars look like no other. Their evolution has been a steady march toward higher speed and greater quickness. That quest takes its inevitable toll. Machines must perform. Sometimes they fail. In a nitro-powered dragster at night, the result can be explosive. One after another, the cars continue to seek the line that can't be crossed. Everything about them has been crafted with one goal in mind: to be the quickest and fastest machine man can build. Jet car jockeys, top guns who never leave the ground, but who turn the drag strip into a carrier deck. Fire, smoke, sound. The march to the starting line is a careful dance of controlled fury. The driver's concentration here cannot falter. When the jets come to the line, their unearthly whine envelops everything. There's no use trying to talk. No human sound can stand up to this. The jet cars are an experience that overwhelms the senses. No one comes away from them unimpressed. Here's Ed the Outlaw Jones from a small town in southern Idaho with the town's fire engine converted for drag racing showmanship. Preparing for his run, Ed anoints the fans with a little fire making of his own. Then putting the wheel stander on its tailgate, the 1931 Chevrolet fire engine performs in a way for which it was never intended. Ed the Outlaw Jones, spectacular showman, and his unusual fire truck.